The show is going to look and feel a bit different tonight because I'm operating from a hermeneutically sealed, HEPA-filtered underground vault where I'm waiting for the end of the world and recovering from COVID. That's right, after 2 years of dodging this little Chinese demon, I ended up testing positive. I frankly marvel that I stayed COVID-free for all this time, despite my many travels, connections to people, and being in public places. I've been careful, but never fearful. I took all the precautions, and I'm fully vaccinated and boosted, knowing that it wouldn't keep me from getting the virus, but it might keep me from having symptoms that are minor and not life-threatening. My wife and I both tested positive, but we immediately started treating it aggressively and early with therapeutics and monoclonal infusions. I've experienced little more than an occasional cough. My biggest fear has been the highly reported severe brain fog that some COVID victims have reported that left them confused, forgetful, and mentally distressed. Heck, Joe Biden is confused, forgetful, and mentally distressed, and he's president. Surely I can host a talk show. Well, as it turned out, severe icing might have made travel to Nashville this week impossible anyway. So if I'm going to experience COVID, now is as good a time as any. But I have learned an important dietary secret of fighting COVID: thin crust pizza. Yep, pizza. Why? Well, it's the only thing that our friends and family can slide under the door to feed us without being exposed. And speaking of Joe Biden and brain fog, that's what he appeared to have when he reacted to Russia's invasion of Ukraine this week. After a series of convoluted and cross messages about whether Russia would cross the border and if it would be an invasion or an incursion and whether we'd be able to place serious sanctions on them that would make them reconsider, President Biden seemed unable to explain to the American public just what in the heck went wrong. One thing is certain, although you will never hear about it from the mainstream media, Vladimir Putin has only done something this daring and directly in the face of the U.S. government twice, once during the tenure of Obama and Biden, and now in the administration of Biden and Harris. All the time, the left and their soulmates in stupidity from the media were falsely accusing Donald Trump of collusion with Russia. The reality was that Putin didn't make a move toward invading anything in Trump's 4 years. But in 2014, while Obama was himself just looking around and taking a peek of himself in the mirror, and Joe Biden was taking a nap, Putin took the Crimean Peninsula from Ukraine. And now with Trump not there to scare him and Biden simply not there at all, Putin amasses a huge army to roll directly into Ukraine, while all making a bizarre speech that claims that Ukraine isn't even a real country. I'd be like the U.S. rolling into Canada to take it over and claiming Canada isn't a real country. Hey, come to think of it, given how the little dictator, Castro impersonator, and serial blackface actor Justin Trudeau has destroyed the country, Canada might not be a real country anymore. But that's for another day. President Biden's first response to all of this was a rambling speech on Wednesday in which he announced some economic sanctions that didn't even scare Putin's 14-year-old house cat. He then shuffled off stage left, turning his back on the reporters and the American people who might have had some questions of the commander-in-chief. But since Joe Biden has disappeared back to the debasement and won't explain how this is going to affect America, let me make some observations as to how it will affect all of us. First, your cost to gas your car or heat or cool your house will go up dramatically. Under President Trump, we had become energy independent. We were actually exporting energy to Europe, which really hurt Russia. But on day one, Joe Biden shut down our newest pipeline, stopped energy production on federal lands, and then later said the Russians could build their pipeline to Germany as well as to the rest of Europe. While President Biden started begging the Middle Eastern OPEC nations to drill more and sell it to us at whatever price they wanted to. Now, because Ukraine is one of the world's leading producers of grain, vegetables, and other foods, food costs are going to go up all over the world if Russia takes control. If Putin decides that no one will do anything to stop him, who's next? Poland? And since Poland is a NATO partner, and since we are committed to defending any NATO member as if it were an attack on the U.S., will we be drawn into another war? But who gets hurt the most? Well, here's who. The single mom who can barely put enough fuel in her car to get to work and get her kids to school. Or the retired senior couple whose cost of heating their home means turning down the thermostat and shivering in the cold so they can save enough money for the medicine they need to survive. And who else gets hurt? The working class family, who saw any pay raises they got wiped out by the record inflation that we are experiencing under the current administration. So here we are. I'm in a bunker because of COVID, but I don't have brain fog. And then there's President Biden in his own basement bunker, who seems to have serious brain fog. So for those of you who didn't like Donald Trump's mean tweets, you got what you wanted. But do you really want what you've got? Now, if you're seeing this, I know you've enjoyed that video. I mean, how could you not, after all? So you know what you should do? Leave a like, click on the subscribe button below, and hit the notification bell next to it so you'll always know when I have another video up for you to enjoy.